we are going to jump in and get started this morning. I am super excited to have the lovely Sarah Blackburn here with us today. I met her just about a year ago this time, like maybe a year and a week ago. Last year we were at a marketing event and we were talking all about content creation, and she is just a rock star with that. She helped me out with my website as well, which was really exciting for me because I've been talking about it for months and months and months and not taking action, and she helped me to get into action. And I was just so amazed when I said, oh, hey, do you have any kids? And she's like, yeah, I have 6. And I was like, what? Like, I have 2 and it feels like 20. So that must feel like 100. And how do you balance it all? And so I was so excited because I know there's a lot of moms in this group. There are men too, but there's a lot of moms inside of this community that I'm sure are going through the exact same things that I'm struggling with when it's trying to balance it all and you've got things going on. And, you know, for instance, one of the reasons we're a little bit late today is that Sarah told me, she's like, 3 of my 6 kids are sick. And I said, do you need to reschedule? And she's like, no, we're gonna make this work. I'm gonna get them, you know, the healthy ones on the bus and off to school, and we're gonna go with it. So I love that can-do attitude. Everything is figure outable. So I just wanted to share with you a little bit about Sarah. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Lindsay. I love our chats. It was so funny. I think we connected, maybe it was about a month ago again. We just kind of caught up. And I think we may have been on the phone for like an hour and a half. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how'd that happen? I think it got to a point where my phone was starting to die because we were FaceTiming. And I was like, this is so fun just to catch up.
Yeah, you did. You dropped off because your phone died.
I think I was having to make Octavia food by that point because we've been chatting for so long. But it's a lot of fun. And I agree. We just had so much fun when we first met. And I love your energy. And I really have to tell you that having 2 little kids in the ages that you have yours, it really can feel like 100 million kids because they're in that needy stage. Whereas, you know, mine are older and self-sufficient and some of them drive themselves. But still, for me, then it's the texting here and texting there and where are you and when will you be here? And that's actually what I wanted to share is some of my tips about what I'm doing to make this work. I think the first thing is I have a lot of grace for myself. You and I, we have this really awesome connection and great relationships to where I know there's not going to be any hard feelings coming from you towards me that I'm running behind. You know me, you're aware of the world that I deal with. So that is one of the things I do is I purposely put myself in circles where they get what I'm dealing with. They completely understand and respect that, you know, yes, work is my priority and this interview is my priority. However, if my husband wasn't able to take the morning off work and be snuggled with the toddler in bed back here that might wake up and need somebody, I would have had to reschedule.
Yeah.
But again, I have really, my oldest daughter is going to be in February. So I've been parenting for 20 years now, and I have learned that it takes a village. I can't do this myself. I'm really only one human. And when I have so many other moving pieces, I need to have that. For a while, I had a co-mommy who was my best friend. She was a sister store manager when I was a retail manager years ago. She was my sister store manager, and she didn't have kids, but she loved kids. And so it worked out really well. She helped me out all the time. I also have my kids' dads that are really involved in their lives. And now I have older kids that enjoy the younger kids. But then the older kids have their busy lives, and it really just becomes a lot of communication and planning. And I don't know if I have it right in front of me, but oh yeah, here it is. This is how I get my life done.
Ah, I love it. I love it. I'm a paper girl too. Look.
I am.
There's my passion planner. I love it.
Paper person. And I have the saying that if I don't write it down, it's not going to get done. So give me just 2 shakes and I'm going to do that. And I say that to everybody, from the orthodontist appointment for my son's dentist appointments, or, you know, for conferences or whatever it is. Even like at the beginning of a week on a Sunday, I'll sit down with both my older girls who have full-time jobs, and I'll have them give me their work schedule. So I know where they'll be at and when they will be at there. So I don't have any moments of, why isn't Emily responding to me? What's going on? Yeah. I already know in advance she's going to be, and then that helps me. That's my tiny one. That helps me know, where do I have some windows? where can I ask Allison, hey, Allison, once this week, how about you cook dinner? And then that way I can make it to my yoga class. Or Emily, can I rely on you on Friday to take the trash to the end of the street? It's like, I'm the mommy manager and I feel like I have all the balls in the air, and delegation has been a really big thing for me.
So I got to stop you there because I think there's some really golden nuggets that you shared. One of which is ask other people for help, right?
Yep.
Your husband snuggling in bed with the kids, ask my daughter to take the trash to the curb. Like, it's not that hard, right? But they won't do it if you don't tell them, I need you to help me do this. The other thing was surround yourself with the people who understand, which I think for so much of my life, I didn't do that. I had people that were placing these demands on me and I could never live up to those expectations. And I would feel less than because of it. And when I became an adult, and quite a few years into my adulthood, I started to realize that I didn't have to keep those friendships just because I had them when I was younger. And having those people around you who are like, no, it's okay. Like, I understand this. If you can't do this on that night, that's fine. You have a life, you have children, you have a family, like there's stuff going on. And I think that's really powerful as moms and women to say, give ourselves some of that grace, and how powerful it is to say no to certain things and no to certain relationships even. So I love that. And then write it all down, right? I'm a big time blocker, but I also keep space in the calendar. And I don't know if you even have time to keep space in your calendar, but I keep white space in my calendar for things that will pop up or things that will bleed over, because I know that will happen. And if I'm too scheduled in, I can't make everything happen. And then I get stressed that like stuff's falling through.
Exactly. That is something that I will say that I don't do. A lot of network marketing training says to hustle, 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 and block out every minute. And I don't hustle and I don't grind. I don't know if you remember, I had this silly shirt that says, my dog is lazy. And it was actually a sloth on my shirt because I don't grind, I don't hustle. I am a self-care sloth. Like, I really want to slow it down. And my schedule isn't blocked out. It's like yesterday morning, I met with my personal trainer at the gym from 8 to 9, showered at the gym and made it to work by 9:30. I didn't have anything on my schedule last night. I knew I'd just be coming home and being with my kids, which meant I made dinner, and I actually chose to use my time to watch the day 1 of the 5-day challenge that's going on right now while I was prepping dinner. So like, I didn't put my evening down. That's a little bit different today. I'm not going to the gym this morning. I've got a yoga class tonight, which again might shift and slide based on how well is the little person feeling, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I love that though, because that was one of the things when I posted about this interview. I had people say, I want to know if it's even possible. Can Sarah take care of herself with all those needs being placed on her, right? All those people. And now you not only have your online business, but you're also building you've got a job as well. So not only do you have 6 kids, but you have a business and you have a job. And you're going to yoga and personal trainers. Like my mind is kind of going like this. I'm amazed.
And I have a husband / partner, because there was a time where I was doing this as a single parent. And believe it or not, you actually end up with more time to yourself when you are a single person. But when you want to prioritize that relationship, then you do even shift that. So I was digging over here and I grabbed my purse and I was showing you this book, which I always have some sort of a book that I'm writing in. I'm a big journaler. I'm a big writer. I actually have a whole list of things that I write every day. And that sounds funny, like I'd be like repeating the same things, but I'm actually not writing the same thing. So every day I write my affirmations. I do a gratitude list. I do a list of acknowledgements. So I acknowledge myself for things. Because like, believe it or not, when you have this many kids, it can go like 2 days and you're like, oh my God, I just want to shower. And so then when you get to the point of, I'm so grateful I showered, and I'd like to acknowledge myself today for showering. It just becomes, you find that little teeny squeak of time to make sure that happens, because not only do you feel good because you showered, because actually that's one of my things on my healthcare checklist that I have for myself is getting a shower in every day. But then I can also be grateful that I made myself important. I made my self-care important. And then that goes right into, hey, look at you. You're doing a good job. You're taking good care of yourself. And when I take good care of myself, I'm a kinder, more pleasant person. And that might be like the funniest thing to try to talk to someone who's like a high producer. But when I tell them that my number one goal is to be a better communicator and to be a more pleasant person, I have had people look at me like I was green or like I had horns coming out of my head. But I'm raising a lot of humans. And so for me and them, they really don't care how much money I make. Like they don't care at all how many sales I made today. Zero, they don't care. Yeah. They care, did I smile at them when they walked in the door from school? They cared if I had any jokes or if I was being silly or if I was stressed or if I was anxious. And so being pleasant or being kind and having that grace for them, it's got to start with me. Yeah. And so the writing practice for me puts me into that space of, oh yeah, you are doing a good job, even though your hair's wet on this interview. You know, it's like
looks great. Don't worry about it. I love that though, because anybody who is on here today, I firmly believe you can get up 10 to 15 minutes earlier than what you're doing now and take that time for yourself. And it really does set you up for that day. And I think I actually disagree with you about high performers. I think they have to have good communication skills in order to be a high performer. All the work and the hustle and all of that doesn't matter if you can't build relationships with other people, because that's what's going to move any kind of business forward, right? That's what's going to make the world go round. So what a impactful thing to do to say, this is my core value. Right. I need to become as kind, as patient, as well of a communicator as I can. I say patient because that's my big one with my children. I'm like, come on.
Okay, you came back. He froze for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I want to like take that. I want to like sit with that for just a minute. So I think what I just realized is that I think I have a limiting belief that high performers are not necessarily pleasant and good communicators, whereas you're saying that those two things are completely congruent, because truly high performers, they know that to get those high numbers, being pleasant and having good communication is absolutely key. So that was really valuable for me because I didn't realize that I was doing that.
Good, golden nugget, nugget.
But again, this is why I love to chat with you, because you're over here like, oh my God, you're so amazing. And I'm over here going like, oh my God, she's so amazing the whole time.
Well, and I totally feel you, because there are many days where my husband comes home from work and I was like, just watch the kids for 10 minutes. I haven't showered. I just want to get one in before the day's over. Right. Because you can start your day. And especially if you wake up and your children are sick or something like that, it can throw the whole schedule out of whack. And I love it. You said like, you got to be able to sift and what did you say? Like something like sift and slide, or I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and it's a lot of, so what I was saying was like the shift and the slide. So I knew over the weekend Octavia was sick. And so yesterday, it being Monday, Adam had to work, I had to work, Allison had to go to school. Obviously, Octavia couldn't go to the new preschool she just started because she's sick. And so I started Sunday afternoon going, okay, what's going to be my plan? And I honestly went, okay, I don't want her around the grandmas because she's ill. I don't want to subject my ill child to my lovely elderly loved ones. Yeah. So we had really gotten to the point where I was going to shift my schedule. I was going to take the day off and trade shifts. And then my daughter popped in from being out of town and we were just visiting. And while I was visiting with my daughter, I just happened to remember that my daughter has a good friend that she hangs out with all the time that Octavia has hung out with many times. So my daughter has an 18-year-old friend who's in college that Octavia knows really well. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, will you ask and see if Sav is available? And so it went from trying to shift my schedule to, oh, look, someone else is available and now I can be present. But again, when I took this job, I took it with the complete awareness that, hey, I do have a lot of other responsibilities. I do want to be here and I do have a village. However, I will cut ship and No,
Yeah.
save my people, which
Yeah.
that's actually something that goes in my journal. I have to like write that one out. I even feel myself getting a little emotional right now. And I really did almost cancel. Like I can pull up my message. I had it typed out to cancel with you this morning because I was not confident in the way I was going to show up, because my emotions are still, oh, my poor baby's sick and coughing over there. And I've got, my emotions are over here.
Right.
I will say though that the biggest thing that I've learned is to do it anyways. Because when I do it anyways, when I show up to the best of my ability, then not only am I still showing up for my schedule and for myself, but then all the people that I impact or that I touch base with or that I interact with during that time, they see me show up despite whatever's going on.
Yeah. And you model it for your children, which is such a great attitude to model. I mean, there are times when we need to make our priorities,
Yep.
but there are times when, this will go on for a few more minutes and then you can go back and be there and snuggle her for a little while and then, go on with your day.
Right.
So I'd love to know.
The great thing too is that because we had this advanced warning, like Adam was able to take the morning off. And so we can just shift it around. But like you were saying, it's communication and it's getting ahead of it.
Yes.
So.
And I would love to know too, so you've got these children and you're fitting in time for yourself and you've got this job now too. So how do you piece in your business? Because I know a lot of people struggle with, oh my God, I have to be everywhere on social media and I can't, if I can't work my business for hours and hours at a time, they feel like I can't work it at all, right? So how do you kind of balance and manage that?
Well, a whole bunch of years ago, I started this funny saying, and now I try not to say it because when I say it, it sounds funny is what I'm told, but it's called 10 minutes to success. And I can really do almost anything in my business in a 10-minute block. And that means that when I take my break at work in 10 minutes, I can go snag the post that I made and is already on a Google Doc. And I can grab the picture that I know I took that day that I was playing with my kids and go post it in a group or go post it onto my business page and share. Or I make sure that, hey, I'm going to be on the wake up call today. And so I'm going to share because that only takes 10 minutes and it can be on in the background.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I listened to it the other day while I was at the gym. Works great. And the sharing, I'm also, I'm a walker or a bicycler when I do my cardio. So I'm sitting there and the reason that works for me is because I enjoy it. It is my hobby, as in it's something that I would do even if I were not getting paid. I enjoy connecting with other women. I enjoy speaking increase into people. I enjoy helping people shift their mindsets. I enjoy having that done for myself, like we just kind of occurred here. And I know that the more I engage with that platform and go find the smart people and the funny people and the happy people and the people who have the same goals as me of becoming better people, becoming better communicators, becoming more pleasant, the more I get to rub up against those type of people, the more that comes out in me. I've got this really cool accountability partner from Landmark. I just did the self-expression and leadership program, and we joked about, she calls herself bratty and that she creates friction. And so I've told her, I'm like, we just need to keep creating friction. We're getting shiny. We're making ourselves shiny. So if I run into something, I'm like, oh, this is, what? That's making me shiny. It's helping me figure it out and helping me get smoother and better. And that's what I'm here for. So I fit my business in those little 10-minute chunks, like this little short interview now, like in the evening after the kids have gone to bed, like when I first get home from work and everybody's content to play and I don't need to get dinner started for 25 minutes, I'm going to go read something, or I'm going to go post something, or I'm going to go follow up with my messages. And it's really something I enjoy. And that's how it's worked for me. Website work, on the other hand, that is something that for me, it becomes like a creative art project. So it becomes like something that I think about when I'm in the shower, or something I'm thinking about while I'm at work. I'm like, oh, that's a great image. I need to find an image like that to go on the. So I almost like building websites much better than I like doing affiliate work, because I get to be more creative and more involved in the process. I'm a project person.
So tell me, are you still doing that? Because I know that it was super helpful for me to have you kind of just like push me to get what was inside of here out onto a website. Like
Right.
you asked me really, really good questions that got me going, okay, so what do I want on the website? Because I would just stare at the screen and go, I got no idea. I
Right.
got no idea.
Yep.
And you helped me really have that happen within a much shorter time frame than it would have if I would have done it myself, because I had been talking about it for about 9 months and hadn't done anything. So
Right. Isn't that funny how that goes?
are you still taking people on? Because I know there's probably people watching here that are like, I could use some help with this.
I am actually taking people on to do websites. I have a course that I like to let people go through, and I answer questions, because I know there's those people who like to learn how to do it themselves and then do it themselves, which is what I was. And then I, of course, have a package where we'll work together like you and I did. Well, I'll ask you some questions. I'll have you fill out some answers to some questions. I'll ask you to go get me some pictures that represent things. And then we'll begin the building, and we'll do what did we call that? Like a trial and error, where I said, okay, let's check out this draft. You look through it with your eyes and see if anything pops out to you. So yeah, I really do enjoy that process. And I am still open to working with clients, because it really only takes about 20 hours for me to build a website. And when I space those out, which is ideal to space those out, because I don't want you trying to go get testimonials at the same time as you're writing your story. Like, I want you to write your story on the first day, and then like the very last step, then at day 14 or whatever, if we do this over a 2-week process, then you're more comfortable going to get those testimonials, because you put out your bio and your story on day 1, and we're reminding you of how awesome you are and how confident you are and why we're building this website. Because that's one thing I think maybe you ran into a little bit is, poor girl, while we want to have these websites, and we've seen other people with great ones, and so we're like, oh, it's a good idea for me to have one. Once we get to a point of building our own website, you're like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Am I like building a shrine to myself? I don't want to do that. What am I doing here? And again, I say that because I ran into that with myself still. When it comes to building a website for myself, I'm like, it's about me all the time. And that's one thing I really enjoy doing, is working with a client to help them start to see their website the way that incoming clients or prospective clients would see it and what they would find valuable.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and I really did. I was bouncing around all over out here with my clarity, and it wasn't until, we really kind of dove into it and talked through, well, what are they coming to you for? Like, what do people need you for? How do you serve them? That I was like, oh, this is what should be up there. And it should take people to my group, because that's where I'm really pouring into people, and all of it should lead to that, and my email list, and so that I can continue to communicate. It wasn't to have people hit my website and buy something immediately.
Right.
It
really just establishes your position as a professional. And it's a hub that you own off of anybody else's server. So it's not Facebook, it's not Instagram, it's not social media, it's not Pinterest. It's your home base where they can go and find the other things that they would like to find with you.
Yeah. So for all of you watching, because I can see some people on here live, if you need a website, or you're like, oh my God, I'm looking at my website, it really could use a refresh. Like,
yep.
You can find Sarah on Facebook and message her, reach out to her, and connect with her on that. Also, you run a amazing community for parents, right? This is one of the reasons I wanted to interview her about balancing all this stuff, because tell them a little bit about the community that you're running on Facebook, and how people could join that if they want to be a part of that too.
Absolutely. Well, it started as Power Moms Online, and as my life evolved and I went from being a single mom, it became the Power Parents Online community. And that community really does focus on self-care and self-love and taking good care of yourself, so that you can then show up for your family powerfully. I really do think we kind of got upside down, and at least this is true for me, because I started being a parent so young. We get upside down in prioritizing our kids, and then we can't figure out why our life doesn't work. But when we become empowered parents, then we're treating ourselves like we matter just as much as our kids. And then that dynamic stays so much healthier. So yeah, in there I talk about nutrition and exercise and taking good care of yourself. And I do talk quite a bit about online marketing, affiliate marketing, digital products, creating courses, because I like to make passive income. It's a lot of fun. It allows me to be present with my kids. I really did take this job as a kind of a shift for me. I've been home now, Octavia's 3.5. So I've been home since I was pregnant with her. And I've been feeling the pull to want to get out and back around people. And working at a bookstore for me is a lot of fun. So just the way things layer in is so great.
But the beautiful thing is you got to make that choice, right? Because you got to be home, and then you created this passive income so that you could have that and be home with your kids. And now you can say, hey, guess what? I've got all this established, and I'd really like to do this other thing too. Like, there are places that I go that I'm like, gosh, it just looks fun to work here. And when you don't have to do it 40 hours a week, 8 to 5, and you're stuck there and there's all these demands on you, it becomes more of, like you said, a hobby, because you're doing it because you love it, not because you have to, which is so cool.
When you get to that place in life where you're like literally showing up for one block of time after another block of time after another block of time, where every single block you love to show up and you're excited to be here and it's exactly what you designed, and you show up as your best self and in your possibility, it's amazing the impact that you start to have on the communities that you interact with. Because people start to say, oh my gosh, how are you so happy all the time? I'm like, why wouldn't I be happy? I already had my favorite drink and I went to my favorite place and I got to go to my favorite gym and I get to see my kids and be there and be home for dinner. Like, everything's amazing. And even though, like right now, we're dealing with illness. Last week, this tummy bug went through our house, and Octavia is the only one who has the cough, congestion, head cold that she's got right now. But again, even though we just went through that, we're still all in pretty good moods and things are just fine. It's just the ebb and flow of life. It's kind of like the beginning of the school year, kids get sick, and then right around when winter hits, it goes back around again. It's just the season and the cycle of life. And I'm really grateful that I do have the skills now that I can shuffle things and everything's handled and everyone is still happy. There's no crisis.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I will drop the link to your group. I will drop it below so that anybody who wants to join can jump right in there. I love it. It's great.
Did I see the name of it? Did you say the name of it?
The Power Parents.
Yeah, the Power Parents online community.
Power Parents online community. I love it because you share such cool stuff in there that I'm like, oh, I would have never come across this, right? And that's the power of social media. And that's what I love about social media, to use it for that benefit rather than just to, sometimes you have those people on social media that all they're doing is complaining about, who cut them off in traffic that morning. And those like you said earlier, choose your people wisely.
Yep.
Well, I know that you have a little one to get back to. Wow, I just went kind of blurry. That's funny. Yeah, I moved too much. My camera didn't like that.
See, this is another reason, though, that I like you. You're just as animated as me, so we can bonk into each other, and it's totally fine.
I know. I don't stop moving. I'm a big hand talker, too. So I'm going to let you get back to your baby so you can snuggle her a little bit before you pop off to your job. Right. But thank you so much. Is there anything lingering that you're like, oh God, I need to share this. I need to share this before we go?
I just want to share that I'm grateful for you and creating this platform for me to share, because you really do remind me that this does work. My life does work. All of my balls in the air moving are still going to continue to move. And I really do hope that by me choosing to share the parts of me that are difficult, like Sarah's and wet hair and my schedule, we were running behind, I hope that me showing up anyways does encourage somebody else to show up anyways. It's okay. It's okay. And even if that means, hey, I actually couldn't show up, I needed to communicate that I couldn't because my priority took place. If I can just remind one person to have grace for themselves, then that's what I'm grateful for you in this platform and to be able to share that message.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Thank you for offering that. I know there's somebody on here today who needed to hear that. Who's struggling.
I guarantee my baby ain't the only one that's sick.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I mean, I got it. So it's just about to run around our house in about 2 minutes.
Oh, take a nap today then, honey.
I'm on the upswing, so we're good.
Oh,
But thank you so much. I so appreciate you, and I will share your community below. And reach out to Sarah if you are struggling with your website and you need help, because and you can go pop over to mine, lindsaysewell.com, and see her magic. I mean, she did. I would have not been anywhere near there. All I did was write the copy. She did everything else for me, and it's gorgeous. So thank you again. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a good day and make that baby feel better.
I will.
Take
I will
care.
make her.
Bye bye.